Last night was cold though.
Oh, yeah, I was super cold.
I had my electric blanket, I wasn't cold at all.
Did you see that on sale at Walmart?
Oh, are they?
They were $16 bucks.
Oh, what size?
They had queen, king. They're like, past the Valentine section, and then they have like, it starts like the cookware, but there's like seasonal
Oh,
comforters and stuff. They have like fleece, they have like reindeers or something, but those ones are on sale. They have quilts that are on sale.
oh, I don't need any more blankets. I
Me
even
neither,
have a
but-
spare electric blanket because I love them so much. Whoops. Did you say we're live?
Yeah.
So I have been 3 times to the storage building to try to find those dishes. We just got lights about maybe 10 days ago, and I was gone for part of that time to Arizona. So I went up there, I thought, I'm getting close, I have this little box. And then I thought, I'm not so sure I know exactly what these look like, so I tried the corner, so last night I was eating, but, it was too cold for her to go out there, so, but I'm getting closer. I have about 3 things I'm hunting for, and so. And I have lights now,
Good. Good.
yeah, I just don't have, I don't have heat yet, yeah. I have, Columbia, needs to come and over my biggest door, there's light coming through there. Like, I think a bird could even get through
Yeah,
there,
you
so I
want
think,
to
so
get in there.
so I went over there, it's up high,
Okay.
yeah, really high. So I went over there and said, can you guys go look at that? And he said, yeah, well, they would just call it a warranty thing, and we could see if they could do that. And then.
Yeah.
And then we're doing some construction in there, we, let's see. We're putting the sizes. Good.
Yeah, you're fine.
And,
Sitting in a short chair.
it goes in.
Yeah.
I know.
Hello.
Hello. I'm here.
Yeah.
Did I just see you? You took off your coat, I'm over here like, nope, I'm not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
I just came in from Pasco and my heat in my car was on 80, so.
It was hot earlier in my car. Maybe all the running around I was doing. I had my AC on.
Really?
The sun is nice,
Mhm.
and what's coming through that windshield, it makes it nice and
Yeah.
warm,
Mhm.
but open the door and get out of that cold, that wind, it's like,
Wow.
holy moly.
Really updated my phone and now all my icons are in different spots.
Yep, that's what happens,
Right there.
supposed to make it easier for you.
Yeah. They don't know me.
Let's see, I printed mine out, so.
Oh,
yes.
who needs an agenda? I need one.
I have it. Let's jump to the guy. Who's adjourned?
Yeah.
So what brings you to our meeting?
She's the new liaison.
Oh.
Great, is that what it's called?
I guess.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, I was elected.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You got, maybe I'll leave the door, but it gets stuffy in here.
Yeah.
It does.
Don't you need another phone?
No, all I need is a radio,
You need an answering, a person to answer your
I
phone
do,
calls.
yeah, I am
Yeah.
good, we are gonna get somebody, cause we've held off on having an assistant, like somebody that can answer the phone. Cause it does get busy, trying to like, I have much more respect for, not that I never didn't have, but I would say appreciation, when you don't have a really strong executive assistant that can help you navigate and
Mhm.
just say, hey, there's somebody in the hall waiting, or, hey, this person called, or, and I think everybody knows like juggling calendars, like, what day can you do? Then you gotta wait for the answer, well, on this date, so it's
Yeah. Well, I have to pass on information, because I told him I would. Madeline Carter from People for People, at the end of last year, tried calling you several different times and got no response. Because she was worried about if the center was gonna be open, closed or not.
Madeline Carter.
Cause she
okay.
does, the head of Meals on Wheels.
Okay, yeah, and I know, and I will say in defense of myself, a lot of my calls were being routed to a wrong number for a long time. Yeah.
And then,
So,
Joan, I forgot Joan's last name, she's with hospice, with Heart Links, and she too tried calling you. And then one day when she was down for a grief support, she just stopped by and you were busy and she never got a
what's her
response.
name, Sharon?
Her first name is Joan, I don't remember her last name, but she's from Heart Links.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to reach out to her and ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
Um,
Both of them, I believe.
But yeah.
Cause they got with me and I'm all like, no, we're open, we're good.
Cause I know like, the past, we got it rectified, so I'm always checking my voicemail, so it shouldn't have been recent.
No, it was.
It's been a while,
Yeah,
okay,
at the
yeah,
end of the year.
no, and there was that period of time,
I know.
because the mayor of Sela, he swore that he was calling me, and I'm like, I swear I have no voicemail, so I let me, and he came to my office and we were kind of laughing, I'm like, I'm telling you. So we are upgrading our phone system, so that's something we're gonna do here soon. But, well, anyway, enough about me and not answering.
No more.
Who wants to save me from this conversation?
You want me to call the meeting?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order at 4:20. And then we'll do roll call. Mike?
Here.
Sherry?
Here.
Perla? Here. Sue? Sis, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. I'm here.
Okay, Vicky?
Here. That's my middle name, Sue. She was just adding.
And then myself, I'm here. Okay, and then we have Mike.
Here. Real quick, Madeline Carter, who is she with?
People for People.
Okay, People for People. Child records.
So for our active agenda, we have introductions.
You want me to start? Sure. Yeah. Mike Gonzalez, city manager, and in 2025, I've answered all of my voicemails.
Get that in there.
For the record.
Mike and Gary.
Sherry Holden.
Vicky Ripley.
Carla Zapata.
This can I?
And I'm Amy Rubio.
So we're missing
Terry said she was coming. She did tell me
Is that her
yesterday.
footstep?
Or I think she texted me that she was be able to make it. So I don't know, maybe something came up.
Okay,
Yeah.
and our student rep.
She couldn't make it.
Everybody have an agenda?
I know Lila couldn't. Let me check my phone, make sure Terry didn't text me that day she couldn't make it.
I'm sorry, you took this me too.
She said she would, but so I guess we'll see if she shows up. Maybe something came up at the school.
Okay.
Oh, I think I heard.
We're all gonna be watching it.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's science fair season and I had to get rid of kids.
See, I.
You had to get rid of them.
And all kinds of stuff.
Oh.
So for the record, Cherry Blair is here.
Finally, so. We'll just call you relate, Terry.
We're doing introductions. if you wanna-
Okay, I'm Terry Alvarez Ziegler, and I'm a science teacher at the high school. I teach science classes, college classes, and I'm also in charge, I'm one of the junior class advisors, and I'm also one of the advisors for Pep Club. And we do science here.
Do we have to go around again so she knows all that?
Okay, item B is elective chair, since we are a new year and we haven't had a meeting, so we need to elect our chair and our vice chair. So, I don't-
And I don't have a role in it, so somebody would have to make a motion
Yeah.
to, nominate. You can nominate yourself too.
Yeah, I nominate Amy. Can you handle that with everything else?
Yeah,
You did a great job.
thanks.
Yeah.
I second it.
Okay, so we have, for chair, we have Sis nominated, myself. And we have a second by Vicky. Is there any objections
No discussion.
or discussion? No?
Director discuss.
Okay, then do I just go by and Lisa's?
Yeah, you can, you don't have to do a roll call
No.
vote. I mean, if there's any objections, and if there isn't, you're good to go.
Okay, so motion passes.
Yes.
Okay, so our next is elected vice chair.
I think Sheree did a great job.
Would you like to be secretary again?
No. I'm much better at moving stuff around. I'm not-
I second
So we have Sherry for vice chair. And second by Vicky, correct?
it. Yes.
Is there any objections? No? Discussion?
Just to say thanks, you guys, really, yeah,
Thank you.
we got a lot of business done last year before things worked, but.
Okay.
And I have big expectations for this year.
Yeah, both are go-getters. I know they're not afraid to call or
So motion.
call me out.
He points at me.
So
That's okay.
motion passes and Sherry is going to be our elected vice chair. Okay, item D is the 2025 Parks and Recs mission.
Yeah, and I think it's really your guys' mission and, how it aligns with the city's goals. And I think we've spent a lot of time working on the pool and, seeing options to support the funding and, obviously tonight's a big vote for the council. We put all the information, whether one way or the other. Rotary stepped up, and I got a message from Rotary again today, if the council is to approve the 2% utility tax, they'll definitely donate up to $50,000 to support.
Nice.
So I feel like anecdotally speaking, it's mostly support that I've heard in the community, for the intent for the kids. I think they realize the budget deficit. Again, I know we're on video, but, so some of the practices in the past kind of led up to it, and there was, in defense of the old group, they over leveraged some places and, maybe they thought certain things were going to work out, but they didn't. And, that's putting it nicely.
Here we are.
Yeah, so, I don't wanna, I'm 2025, it's really about moving forward and, taking what we have and working with it, and I think, my opinion, I've been pretty open, I'm not a tax person, but I think the utility tax gives us an opportunity to kind of reset, figure out what we do next. We have it for a year, and then, while we're building our fund balance and doing all the right things, it gives us a little time, lets the pool open, and the swim team gave me a really good insight into some things, how we can save even more money. So it was good to talk to them yesterday, and so I think we can make some adjustments on the number of lifeguards at certain times. So I think think last year's strategy was just to have as many lifeguards show up at one time as possible. And I've been talking to Cuss, our team, a little bit about how they ran their pool. And there was some kind of narrative out there which we're checking on. You have to have so many lifeguards per gallon of water, which seems crazy to me. I
I
don't know.
thought it was per person.
Yeah, somehow it turned into like gallons per water. So we're trying to like dispute, we're trying to get the facts. Because I think anytime something like this happens, like you get all these, like it's gallons per minute water of how many lifeguards you have to have. So, I've learned a lot about pools. So anyway, I think there's gonna be ways we can further cut from the budget that just wasn't, not to say not managed correctly, but it was, we threw everything we had at it just in case, rather than let's do it strategically and pick our spots. And I mean, one other area that I learned yesterday, our morning swim sessions, we barely any of the kids can, because a lot of the kids rely on the school lunch from the summer. So they want to wait to eat lunch, relax a little bit, then jump in the pool. So maybe we stretch out the afternoon session, maybe even do away with the morning session. Then I also learned yesterday we were doing swim lessons. We had 2 swim lessons in the morning. Sometimes there was one kid for like a 2-week session. So they got a private swim lesson from one of our lifeguards, which, you're paying them $20 an hour. The swim lesson costs $35 total. So, by the time 8 lessons went through, we just spent $160 for a $35 swim lesson. So it was actually, we paid $125 for the swim lesson.
Yeah.
So I think some of these things that we're learning, it's on us as a city to run it more efficiently.
Because you have to have so many in a class in order to
Right.
benefit, and if you don't have that, then it's not worth.
Right, so we can definitely, and one of their recommendations was to, just combine I have one class with one person when the other class has 3, just have one class with 4 people and, or 4 kids.
I don't know how often that happened. I had my grandson there and there was a full house when.
Yeah, and again, it was them saying that we've been at the pool all summer, and we saw that a bunch of times. So whatever the case may be, I think what we'll do is maybe combine some of those, kind of flex on some of the swim times, because if none of the kids are coming, or not a lot, if you have 10 kids and you've got 10 lifeguards, that makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
To be paying, because at times I think we have 7 lifeguards for the morning swim when there's 10 kids. So we're paying 20 times 70, so we're $140 an hour times 3 hours. That's $540 every morning times 5-6 days. So that's you times that by 12 weeks. It's it's a pretty good clip of money.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
adds
I
up
think
really
it comes
quick.
out to 92,000.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty significant when you start adding all the numbers up, and you're like, God, 12 this, and you're like, whoa. And they actually did a really nice job. Janet, I mean, she did public records requests, and she got Toppinish's pool, which is actually closed this summer. So, which was actually good for us because it'll help us get some lifeguards. But I mean, it's not for the kids in Toppinish. But they looked at Toppinish, Grandview, Granger, and how how much their pools cost. So they are actually going to present that tonight. So I was able to get on the horn with our city attorney to see if they could present that during public comment, because that was a conversation we were having. So I called Ben during that. I was like, hey, if they want to present this, are they allowed? Because I didn't want people to think like I'm pushing this, and but it's great. They can present that PowerPoint during public comment to show what the economic effects are too. And I was really impressed too by the economic impact the swim meets have. The big one, and then just having all the kids come from all across the valley and from Eastern Washington for that matter. So I mean, we take it for granted how much economic impact that pool has.
They did a very good PowerPoint.
Yeah,
I saw that,
it was nice. Yeah, they sent it to all the council, and So yeah, so it'll be interesting tonight to see the pro and con. I don't know how many people are gonna come out against it, but
Oh, we'll see, you know, cause we just got our property taxes.
I know the
And,
timing sucks,
you know,
yeah.
the water bill just came out,
Wow.
and if you look at all the extras that we're already paying,
I know.
but that's
Water
been,
is the least.
but that's been the history of Sunnyside. I mean, I've been in Sunnyside for over 50 years, and there's not been a school levy or bond that hasn't passed, you
Right,
know? So we're doing it to ourselves, and now we're just here and the economy is so high and our income is still down here, you know, we're yelling more this time.
I know, I was talking to somebody today who just got their new tax notice, and it's like, they're like, geez, it's all school district. You know? But you know, do you want an educated community? That's, what's the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Is, you know, I always look at it,
And you know, like I talked to a couple people, they go, well, there's this, blah, 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 and I go like, you voted for it. Why didn't you vote? And I said, well, that's your problem.
yeah, that's, yeah.
You got the answer, don't you?
So our purpose, Amy, that's our item on the agenda, right?
Our
Our
mission,
mission.
so is there
There is a place where it has purpose, right?
Yes,
Sheree?
so it was on the website, and this was our mission, it's been that for a long time. And it just says the City of Sunnyside Parks and Recreation Department pledges to sustain the delivery of the broad-based parks, facilities, programs, and services, creating a sense of community, enabling a safe and secure environment, and enhancing Sunnyside's quality of life by being responsive to the changing recreational needs of the diverse and growing community, continuing a citizen-driven and professional approach to provide safe, well-designated and maintained facilities and programs, and maximizing community resources through providing responsible stewardship of human, fiscal, natural, and historic resources. So that's our mission currently. Do we want to change it? Did I not read it very well?
Is that referred to as a mission, or, because there was another place where it was a
And then
purpose?
it got a mission statement and the vision statement. And the vision statement is every child in the city of Sunnyside will have the opportunity to participate in socially relevant programs that aid in the positivity development of our citizens. So when I worked with Parks and Rec back in the 90s, that was the starting point for kids. Cause every kid, whatever, you put them in t-ball, soccer, flag football, whatever it was, every kid got to play. It wasn't like when you went to school, it wasn't like when you went to AAU. If you were good, you get to play. If you're not so good, oh well, you're sitting there, your parents still pay for you.
How's it going?
Yeah. Parks and Rec was the place for the kids to start, and everyone got to participate. No matter how good or how bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just assume.
That'd be easy. So we're just talking about the mission and vision and purpose of.
Well, I mean, it's there, and I don't think. There isn't anything really else to add, I mean, this is a black and white.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to see and the community wants to see. So I think what it reads is, I think what we need to just stay by that.
Yeah, because it comes across as being all encompassing,
Yeah.
which is what we want, right? But it's not specific, exactly. So, yeah, I agree with Mike, I think it's good.
And that's something, yeah, I was gonna ask the board. And this is something we're trying to do a little bit more in the Economic Development Committee. Is, pick maybe one thing that the board can champion and really. Kind of get a victory for this year, because it's so easy. It's so easy to focus on 10 things, right? Like, we're gonna do this, and then we wind up doing, it's really hard to accomplish anything because there's so many moving parts to parks and everything else. So like Economic Development Committee is really trying to focus on forming a chamber. So that's something that they're trying to champion. So one thing that since the day I've walked in the door, I've been soccer, soccer, soccer. And I'll say that soccer is gaining momentum with the World Cup coming and forget my World Cup. And you know, we're currently in the legislature, we're going after some grant dollars for Tina Knopf Park to upgrade that. And we can use REAP dollars possibly. Forgive me. Let me get I'm getting better. I just decided to get my throat, not able to talk.
Well, we just found out today COVID's back, so.
Yeah.
Take care.
She said you in a cough.
We're bringing that to city council too, because when one person starts coughing, it seems like,
Yeah, so and I'll get out of it soon if I'm making people uncomfortable.
no.
It's pretty, in, sorry.
That easy.
We'll let you back out, but we're not gonna let you leave.
So we can use REIT dollars for like a soccer master plan of some sort. So I mean, I feel like, and this is just my opinion, you guys are the board. You know, if the board took up soccer as their initiative for 2025. To really look at the economic opportunities, you know, what the costs are to fix the fields, you know, what would it cost to maintain it? And then Councilor Hart's like really
Oh.
put the mask on next to this fool.
I'm telling you.
She pulled out the duck one, I was like, that ain't,
That's because we got them free.
that keeps all germs out.
This is the one, and they gave them to us at Christmas,
I remember those.
10 of them.
Oh,
I remember when
that was your
Yeah, you
Christmas
are.
present, huh?
That's during COVID, is like I pulled it out, I'm like, this is like
Oh.
anti-everything, y'all gonna laugh at me. This duck bill came out.
It's,
I know,
you know, I think just on that point, I think it's a good thing to do. I mean, especially this year.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're catching and. Anyway.
So that, you know, that's a thought for the board is maybe the board really takes up. You know, and obviously I would help you guys with it and with the REIT money, we could use that money to hire a consultant and to work with the board specifically and. Cause it would be great for the board to, you know, every couple months or quarter to come. Hey, here's how this master plan is going and sort of champion that. And, you know, at the end of, you know, as we get into the second or third quarter, present this plan that says, you know, here it is. And then that could give us the opportunity. And I'm just thinking ahead to the next legislative session to say, hey, lawmakers, this is the plan that we've created for Sunnyside. You know, this is how it'll impact us economically, you know, socially, and, you know, this is how we can support it. Cause I really do feel like soccer could be a huge economic driver to Sunnyside.
Well, it's soccer, t-ball, football, I mean, the kids need something to do and the parents want to have something to do.
Yeah.
And, you know, closing down the recreation part of Parks and Rec. I know we couldn't keep everything. So that's all, I'm gonna stop right there.
but I think last year we had heavy talk about soccer. I
Yes,
gave the past people information and they were supposed to have gone to certain parks that would allow soccer, measure to see how many fields, but then one person was waiting for another person, and
Right.
nothing ever got done.
yeah, well, I too, cause I have so many grandkids and GGs, it's amazing. Go to Tri-Cities, I got little Lucius, he's 5, he does soccer and stuff. And I went last year and they have portable goal lines and
Oh, yeah.
the nets and stuff, right? And the YMCA, that's who had them. And so I got the information of the quality and the price and stuff from that. And I mean, it was a lot less than putting out that permanent stuff.
Well, yeah, cause
Yeah.
we had asked, I had presented some stuff, but we all did, and then. The past people brought back and we were talking 6,000, 10,000, and that's, no, we just needed some portable
Right.
nets and stuff, I mean, we're not looking. Like that, and so then that kind of just veered off, so.
Right.
Like I said, we had a lot of things going on and a lot of talk about it, but. It just didn't work.
So is that something that this board would like to do like a soccer master plan?
I think, we've already discussed it, I
Yeah.
think we should continue looking.
We just don't know what steps are the next ones.
But I do have a question, because last year before everything closed down or whatever, you had agreed or someone had agreed to let Los Lobos into the community center to do indoor park practices. And it stopped, everything stopped, and nobody got back in touch with him or anything, so.
No, they're practicing.
He's
Are they
doing it, he's doing it now. He had to stop for just a minute because he's got to get a certain level of liability insurance. I forget it's like C something or other. Maybe you can help him with it.
So when did he go in there? When did he?
So he's been doing it, what are we in, started in January,
Okay,
so yeah.
so, cause I had a meeting with him like the first week of January, and he mentioned that, it all stopped, he's got his kids out playing out in the cold, and stuff like that, and I'm like,
No,
okay.
he's been doing it, so yeah, the hard part about that. And Perla can appreciate like from an insurance perspective, but just the liability for us as a city, so. He had a certain liability amount and then WCIA said, hey, he's gotta have an additional amount to cover the city and I'm learning a lot about soccer insurance, so,
Mhm.
no good deed goes unpunished, so.
And they're
Um,
not cheap.
No, yeah, it's pretty expensive, so. As soon as he gets that, he'll be able to go back in there, so we had to put a pause on it, so he's been doing it when it's been well received. I would say the backlash that we've received is some of the other teams that felt like we've been asking for years for this opportunity. Why'd you give it to him?
Because he was persistent.
And that is the answer I gave, Sherry, thank you. But that is not the answer people wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But here's what I did. I said, okay. Other soccer teams, I told Adrian, anybody that wants to come and play, you gotta let, either we have to figure out a way to give them an opportunity, but no other teams have stepped forward. And Amy can attest to that, cause I've told, I know she knows a lot of soccer folks. And I told them to call me. I haven't heard from anybody. And Adrian's on board to, hey, what other teams wanna come in, he's willing to make
Yeah.
space for them, but he hasn't heard. But part of it becomes that like, he's doing it, I'm not gonna. So we
Well,
gotta get past that a
His
little bit.
competition and his good friend is having to work and he's driving an 18-wheeler right now, so he's driving down to LA and all that stuff, so he doesn't have
Right.
all that time currently like.
Yeah,
Like he had before.
so yeah, but I think for this first year, it's been successful, if nothing else. It's shown that the city is willing to help and participate, cause I think we were taking some shots. Like, you guys don't care, you don't wanna help us out, which was not true, it's just, we never really thought about the mechanics of helping. Which this year was truly like a learning experience for us, cause we just hadn't thought about, how we do that, plus we got the new walls that were reinforced. And next year we can expand that even more, I think. And get more teams to participate. The thing that it's affected is, you do one thing and has an effect, so the basketball folks were kind of like, well, you got these guys in here now.
But basketball gets all the school.
Right, yeah, so it's, there's plenty of opportunities to play basketball. So anyway, we're trying our best and we're working it out, but yeah, so he's been in there.
Is pickleball still in there?
Pickleball's still going, so and what we decided to do was, we already have an agreement with pickleball and they're really self-sufficient, so they do their thing, they have their code, they go in. And pickleballs, they have their leagues going on all across Prosser here, and I'm surprised how organized they are. They have an app. You know, on certain days they show up at certain places and you're like, wow, you guys really have it together. And so, yeah, they've been very self-sufficient and I definitely didn't want to interrupt them, because they're in a rhythm and, you know, they were very amenable and that, you know, they're great folks. They do their thing and they give their $2 and, you know, they keep the place clean and, so we haven't ever had one problem with pickleball. They're very respectful. So we
Can I
wanted to
ask
keep them
another
going.
question? The pickleball or the, what is it? Is it the pickleball court or the tennis ball courts outside of the community center?
So,
Oh, tennis courts, isn't it?
yeah, they're tennis courts.
The lights are on all the time there. Are they always on? I mean,
It's a good question. I think they are on at night.
They're on at 6 a.m. too.
Yeah, so that's a good question. Let me ask it.
Well, I know Adrian, when he was practicing outside, asked for him to be on. So if somebody turned him on and didn't turn him off, you know,
Yeah.
But he was using, wasn't he using the tennis courts also for some soccer
yeah, for practice, yeah.
practice? out
Yeah,
there
he's
on
the one who
tennis
asked for
courts?
the lights to be turned on.
Cause he was telling me about that not too long ago, about using the tennis courts, part of them for soccer.
Yeah, I've
practice.
heard that too.
So
I
maybe
know.
that's why the lights are on too. I don't know, anybody who's playing
Yeah,
tennis
but
out there.
let me find out, because if they're just on all the time, that's kind of a waste of money.
yeah.
So let me figure that out. But I know when it warms up, pickleball uses the tennis
Yeah,
courts too.
yeah, I
Mhm.
understand that, but now
Yeah.
when it's so cold,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't,
mean, it's,
I haven't seen anybody out there playing on it or.
and it might just be for safety reasons too, you know.
I know there's like a lot of stuff that goes on it, so, you
Yeah.
know, so maybe that's why.
That's what I wondered,
Yeah,
but what can they damage on a pickleball court? I guess they can do graffiti, but.
But a lot of times they run through, cause they go from the trailer court, they can run through the park. So it's probably
But the-
easier.
So they need
But-
lights on to run through.
Well, I guess too much.
Well, I'm thinking you probably,
Like for safety.
with the past history of South Hill Park, you probably don't want the lights off all the time. You know, cause we've had shootings out there.
that's what I'm
You know?
thinking is, I bet you, I'm gonna ask Rob
I wonder if it's
Lehman.
on
Yeah.
street.
Cause I
security
feel
thing.
like it's probably more of a security issue,
Mhm.
cause you know how it is, you get a dark park, it's gonna be riff raff out there, there's no
There's
doubt.
about 8 lights out there, I mean, if you cut half of them,
Yeah, you
there
might
would still
not,
be
you might not need them all,
lights.
Yeah.
And I drive by at 6 a.m. 3 days a week and they're on.
they're on.
Cause I
Okay.
already made that observation too, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay, yeah,
Well,
that's good to know.
Wouldn't they be on a timer where they come on at dusk
You would
and
think,
go off
yeah.
at sunrise?
Yeah, you would think, I mean, at a certain point, I mean, they should go off.
I mean, cause if it's dark and cloudy at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, my lights are, for my apartment next door are still on.
Yeah.
And other days when it's nice and bright and sunshine, they're off, you know, so.
So what do we have
Makes
to
sense,
do to start the soccer master plan or?
Let me, what I'll do is I'll contact, the gentleman that pitched it originally and just, I think the best bet is next board meeting to meet with him.
Mhm.
And, in the meantime, I'll have him, I can send the group his preliminary proposal of what he envisioned with it, and then, you know, I envision him working with myself, this group, you know, meeting monthly, maybe more, depending on, you know, the bandwidth of this group to kind of really be the guiding force of the plan. Cause it would be great to be able to present to the community, hey, the Parks Board, you know, really was the driving force, you know, with this and, you know, working with the council members that are on the board as well. I mean, I think it would be a huge accomplishment to be able, and it would give me like a tangible thing to take to the legislature. It would have been great to take to the legislature this year. Hey, look at what we've got, you know, we've got this whole master plan for our soccer fields. Cause I mean, you look at our soccer fields, like Kiwanis could handle a really nice soccer field. Sunnyview Park, I mean, definitely, even if we did some kind of like long-term visioning of, you know, taking out part of the baseball fields that aren't being used that much and, expanding soccer that way. The school district has made an overture about the old skating rink. They're like, if y'all wanted to make an indoor soccer, center, you guys can have that. So that's been thrown out. So, I mean, and it'll be kind of like a scope of we'd have to investigate what's it gonna cost to repurpose that. And then I think what it could also do if we wind up doing a larger scope park plan. We've been talking about doing like a metropolitan park district with Granger, Grandview, Zilla, and kind of pulling together our resources, maybe. It would be an opportunity to kind of show all those different things. Or if, everybody hates taxes, I know, but if we were to go to the voters and say, look, if we want to create our own parks district, or we could do a levy lid lift that's specifically for parks, the pool, the community center, and ask the community to say, hey, if you want all these resources, we, the city, can't, we can't fund it, but you can if it's important to you. And if the community doesn't want it, the community has spoken, and then when we can't provide the resource, we go, look, we gave you the opportunity, here's the mission, here's the plan. But I think if we don't have the plan, it's gonna be.
Madam Chairman, I move that we make our mission for this year soccer. With a goal that we actually do something with it, because we spent a lot of time last year spinning our wheels about soccer. So we need to have a step by step, what are we gonna do next month, what are we gonna do the next month, and if that didn't work, then we go back to the next thing, but I'm not willing to sit and go through another year like we went through already.
And I think it'll be important just to have that outside professional that can help us go, okay, stick to task, here's my deliverable. Cause we're all busy and we're all, in our own little world working, and cause I found, and that's, sometimes people complain about cities having consultants. But that's the very reason, because we have our little fingers all in these different things, and then all of a sudden we go, oh my God, the parks plan,
and how much do we all know about soccer?
Right, exactly,
Yeah,
and
I'm not Adrian.
to investigate the costs, and then bring the stakeholders, and then do outside.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so, and the REIT money can support that, so we have a funding bucket that's available that because it's in our comprehensive plan, and then in our capital facilities plan, we can use that money. And the plan will probably cost around 30 grand, but it's money well spent, because it's money for outreach, it's money for research, it's money for, and then we get this plan that's pretty robust, and we go, okay, community, do you really want this? I mean, because that's something it was a great idea. Ryan Maxwell was like, if you put together this soccer plan that's really amazing, and let's say we know what it's going to cost to repurpose that soccer facility, the roller skating rink, we create 10 new soccer fields, it's going to have this much economic impact. You could load a bond for that and say, hey, community, do you support this? And if you guys really want soccer as much as you say, here you go. Here's, that, so that's an idea there.
And what place are you talking about? The big blue building?
That big
Across
blue
from
one.
McDonald's?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I took a walk through there a few months ago. Ryan took me in there.
Ooh, that's spooky.
It's pretty good. That they're using it for storage, so it's.
Good district is?
Yeah, they're utilizing it. I think it was a bus barn for a little bit, and then I think even George Galvan was using it to park some of his rigs. And now there's just random stuff from the school district in there, but the bones are good. It's but
That'd be a good start, huh?
it would be. I mean, it's something to think about, because that's the biggest thing. It gets cold here, and
I think the indoor would really be a good focus, because I've always said that it'd be good. Because then you can also host different kinds of tournaments. And that would bring a lot of money
Oh,
to the town,
absolutely.
people buying gas, buying food, you know, the
Just like-
hotels.
Just like the swim championship.
Exactly.
When we have them
Absolutely.
here. same
Exactly,
thing.
so I mean, I think that would solve that problem of these groups wanting an indoor place.
Yeah.
You could
Absolutely.
schedule them, you know, and then, like I said, those indoor tournaments, you could actually rent it out to
Yeah.
places.
Cause you, like Mike said, you know, it's
And if
got
they
big
year-round.
bones, and you know, definitely it's gonna have to be remodeled at one point in time or whatever, and this and that or whatever. We could end up with our own Sundome, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if we have the vision for it, I think the appetite in the community for sure, where we have
Oh, yeah.
tons of soccer players, and then proximity wise, we're halfway from Tri-Cities to Yakima, you get all those groups to come to
Yeah.
town.
Mhm.
I mean, we're, you know, you go south, I mean, we're in the perfect spot to
Yeah,
You
be
can
able
throw
to do
some
that.
mats and do wrestling.
Yeah, no, and
They like to use it for different things.
well, that's the thing too.
because their daughters are going.
No, yeah, I know.
No, but we travel, like, we were in Eastmont, we go all around. And it's packed, and if you think now they're doing where they have like vendors out, so you can eat, so they'll have like local vendors outside. And you just think they have, you buy a sweater, I mean, it's like any sport, there's food, you're there all day, you have to be there at 7 in the morning, you don't leave till like 8 or 9.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so
But they
it's
didn't
like-
have the vendors.
So now, like, I know they've expanded some schools, cause they're like close. So they'll be like, you know, if you're this age, you're wrestling at the high school, or you're this age, you're across the street at the middle school. So it does bring in a lot of
Yeah.
people, so I mean, if we could get Sunnyside to, you know, I know the high school did one. And there was a lot of schools, and the kids were just going to McDonald's, they were getting food,
Right,
you know, so it does bring in a lot of money,
Yeah.
so
without a
that would be
doubt.
good.
And yeah, and that was something, I'm glad you guys brought that up, because I wasn't even thinking about it, and I think Ryan said that same thing, you could use it. Cause you know what we're missing in Sunnyside too, is like that one big center where we can host things, you know, the community center kinda is that, but it's not quite big enough to have like a convention.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
Outgrown it. Really.
Yeah,
That's one of the last things I think I did while I was on LTAP was to set of projects we could
Yeah.
start, set aside. I think it ends up being about $25,000 a year, more or less.
Yeah.
And that money towards doing something for having a convention center.
well, I like your idea of expand, if we ever had the money to expand the
Expand
community
the
center.
community center would be
Yeah.
perfect, because we've outgrown things, even the hospice banquets, we've outgrown
Yeah,
the hospital festival of trees, and we could have those again if we could expand, if we could double the size of the gym. And I think that would be one way, and then add some office spaces where you could have like maybe a conference there, have the ag, the great ag people come in and do a trade show. I mean, it's perfect place, it's right off the.
oh yeah, it's a perks, I mean, one thing I wanted to
But
share.
that's a different topic and not on Parks and Rec, sorry.
One thing I wanted to share with you guys, I'm very proud of this. So I had Jaime, you know, this has been driving me crazy since the day I walked in the door. So I had Jaime and the Public Works crew clean the sign
Oh,
at the park. So now it is clean and yeah, it just,
What's that?
so
That's over at South Hill.
Good job.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, this piece of graffiti, I've been meaning to, and I was doing a drive-through this morning, I'm just like, cause I was watching the Roger Brooks video you sent me. And you know, he was talking about all our signs, so I went on that exit and I was looking, where could I put wayfinder signs? And I'm looking like, God, I've been meaning to tell somebody about that graffiti on there, it's driving me crazy, so I called Jaime, I'm like, Jaime, can you clean this up? He's like, oh yeah, man, we can get it, it's done today. So yeah, he sent me that text, I'm like, wow, that looks amazing. So yeah,
It's
so,
amazing how many times I've been by that
Yeah.
sign and I didn't notice the graffiti.
yeah, you know, but I was
No.
thinking to
I
myself-
never noticed it
Oh,
either.
I didn't either.
I was thinking to myself, this is the first thing people see when they come into
Oh,
Sunnyside, that
no,
exit.
this is-
Yeah.
You just get
We're
used to
immune
it.
I'm just like, I wanna get home.
Hopefully it'll last, but
If memory serves me, I think that graffiti went on there shortly after Easter last year.
Exactly.
Oh, it's not
Yeah.
that long, yeah.
Hopefully somebody doesn't go, okay, man,
Oh,
you think
yeah.
you're gonna get us, but.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was very happy that they were able to take care of that, so look, God, it looks so much better.
Yeah.
So anyway,
So I know we talked already about opening the floor.
yes, and if.
And when is pool going to open?
It should open at the normal time if everything
Which
goes
is what
well.
was normal.
Normal, what is it?
On the end of May,
June,
first of
July?
June.
June,
So is it gonna be open for the school kids?
for the
Um,
school classes.
Oh, the end
They
of
always do
June.
that first week, second week of June.
It's
is
gotta
when all the
be, yeah,
kids
it's a
get their
tradition.
free
Yeah, I
rides.
think-
I know my son was bummed because he worked really hard to
Mhm.
get his AR goal and then,
Oh, that was the
They-
best part of the school year.
yeah,
I
and they
don't-
couldn't go.
Yeah, I don't see, it should open normal, it's just a matter of, you know, the tax, the interesting thing about the tax, it won't start till really March. So the funding cycle will actually go from March to March. You know, the reality is it costs what it costs for the year, but, you know, but nonetheless, and that's something. I probably need to do a better job of messaging to the community is. This money will not go like into the general fund, we'll create like a separate line item
Mhm.
that just says pool, you know, so.
Yeah,
Cause people have been asking like,
so is the cost gonna go up then?
you know, we haven't decided whether to increase, we fundamentally, we won't need to increase the cost of the. pool.
Personally, I think you should.
I think you should too.
Well, the funny thing is, like, I've been very like Switzerland on that issue, but most people, I would say 90% of the people are like, Mike, you need to charge a little bit more,
Yeah.
which I've been hesitant
You know,
about. 'Cause
if you change the hours, don't have the morning hours.
Right.
And have the afternoon hours. And add an hour or so on there,
Right.
then you could add, you know, to the cost.
Right, cause I think, you know, we've got we have the morning session, the afternoon session, then family swim. Which family swim is just the ability to bring in like floaties and whatnot, doesn't fundamentally change it.
No, it does change things. Because I won't go during public swim because those kids, they
It's
have
just-
no guidance and they don't care.
Don't say that on video.
It's on video.
We got 7 lifeguards.
No, not the lifeguards, the kids in the pool, they have no respect for nobody, including themselves. Me and Hannah, we went almost every day during family hour because it's more,
More, yeah, it's not as.
it's
More mellow,
family, it's more
more-
mellow. And you actually get to swim and you actually get to enjoy
Well,
the
yeah,
time.
it's like anything else, when the kids are playing, it's roughhouse, it's
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, so don't say family hour, you can just take a floaty in now.
Oh.
That's how it was posed to me. That's what the sharks told me.
So I do have a question, are we gonna have it open on the weekend? Cause I know we were losing a lot of people because they would go to Prosser. Cause
Yeah.
Prosser was open.
Well, that's
and
the
ours
other thing, I think
wasn't.
I think we should, if.
Well, it should be.
Even if you had to close Monday, you could. do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
right.
that's an idea too,
Right,
because it
right.
wasn't Monday, cause
Well, if you could rotate your kids through, you
Or
could
else
just
I have to
do
go
it.
to
Right.
Gary's house.
Yeah.
You only have just a short time for everybody to get to go swimming.
yeah,
You know, you have your
Like-
lap
like
swimmers
6
who wanna
weeks.
go early in the morning,
Yeah.
maybe before the swim team meet, they're going around 6 or 30 or something. I understand that's way too early for me. But there are other people who, you know, who contacted me and said, are we gonna be able to have lap swimming? Cause not in the middle of the day when it's really hot, but early before we go to work.
cause that might be something, rather than having the open swim. Maybe have lap swim at a certain point, cause I know,
So if we could do it in the morning. so-
yeah,
That's
because
fine, that's
the
what that
swim
they do.
team does 6 to
It only
9,
generated
so they have
Oh.
that.
We
Worked
can-
out
if
for a
like
long
somebody
time.
have, like,
Oh, wow.
we Start at 7.
Because nobody's not allowed to do it.
I don't-
Mike's shaking his head.
I don't know.
I mean, you have to ask.
Yeah, I know a lot of them do, they do it early just because
And I,
it's been like that
Because
for
parents
years.
have to go to
But it
work.
It's been like that for centuries.
Yeah.
Who's gonna make these decisions, since we don't
Yeah.
have a park and rec
Here-
person? Who's this person we need to get the information to and ask questions to and?
The thing I think it's probably, it's gonna be really de facto to to the public works director, cause that is really their bailiwick.
Or
And,
Who's
yeah,
who?
Raul
Raul
Sanchez,
Sanchez.
cause, I would take it on, but that, that's his function, that would be stepping on his turf. So I like to leave things to my managers.
So it would be a good idea, Park and Rec, so somebody from here that is involved in the pool, Mike. We're assigned to work with Raul and give some advice on, the hours. I mean, you always had great information about what was going on. I think you were skulking that.
Yeah, no,
Cool,
that's a good
but,
idea.
Well, and then I think you have your daughter, right, that does swim, so then he's there, like, my kids don't just swim, but I
don't think
wouldn't
that's a
know.
possibility.
No, well, and I was just thinking, sis, like, what I really think is there should be, like, we need more committees, right? Actual, like, a
Well,
2025 pool committee of some sort that, cause there's so many good ideas that the Sharks have, the community has, that the park boards has, so I think we either all need to get together or create
I
a
don't think we need
committee.
to create another, I mean, next
Yeah.
year we got 20 different.
Right, and
committees.
and that's what I don't wanna necessarily
I think
do.
we know what's going on, we know what needs to get done.
Well,
Well,
Why not this group do it?
Yeah.
But we have to have someone to
Head that.
designated to get the instructor who's gonna teach the kids the lifeguarding. So they get their certificate, so we have lifeguards. We have to have that same person or another person to say, hey, the pool's opening up this day, we gotta make sure that it's maintained and it's able to do
And that's
that.
gone to Public Works is,
Yeah,
without Mary here, it's
you
gone to
got-
Raul and Andrew.
Yeah, cause Andrew's still here, right?
Yeah, so it's cause Andrew, who's online right now, so it's. so
Hi,
it's
Andrew.
going
I
to-
just have a question on that,
Still think.
it should
Hello.
come, any recommendations, hi Andrew. It should come from this group through the Public Works to City Council. Because ultimately,
Yeah, I
they're gonna
agree.
be the ones
Yeah.
who decide what's gonna happen. So, the council, so really, you guys have you have a chair, that person could be the liaison to that's how it should work. To the city council, you also have a council liaison, I'm not sure if it's Ripley or if it's Art.
It's Ripley.
Cause we had new assignments, I thought I got Parks and Rec, but you got Parks and Rec?
I got Parks and Rec.
Oh, good, well, then I'm just here for fun then.
Well, I think that's fine, but we can't do it if we only have 1 month here and 1 month there. Then that means we have to meet more often or a smaller
Right.
number of
Well,
us.
that's the thing, and I think that maybe you can call your meetings more than once a month.
Yeah, we could easily do
You know,
that, no, and I think,
Especially if you have a special project you're trying to work on.
I agree, cause I think what you're saying is like, this Parks Board, it has the
It
power
has the
to,
power to send recommendations.
no,
to the
I
council.
agree.
And right now, we're talking about
So-
cost increase and opening weekends, right?
Well,
And hours.
And
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah.
okay.
if I can add, I feel like it's really important that if we're asking people to pass this and they're gonna be paying more money, that pool's gotta be open because
Yeah.
I mean, the pool wasn't open for 4th of July. The pool's not open on weekends.
Likewise, what's the point?
What's the point of having it? We're only open 3 months. It's gotta be
yeah,
open.
I'm
If we have the
surprised
pool,
it's
it's
not
got.
open on the weekends.
And the thing is, when they hire these kids or whoever to work, they have to know, you're expected to be there on the holiday and work. You're expected to be there on the weekend.
This is your
Because
schedule.
This
Yeah,
is your schedule, and if you can't do it, then move along and we'll hire someone who can.
exactly.
Because we're asking people to pay for it, and what's the point? They're gonna say, no, it's not even open, so what are we
Yeah.
gonna pay for?
But I think that was the trouble last year,
Well,
the scheduling,
And we've gotta fix that. I mean,
Yeah.
I've worked
yeah.
jobs earlier in my life where I was working on Thanksgiving, I was working on weekends,
Yep.
yeah, I would have liked to have been open.
Mhm.
Welcome to the real world.
Welcome to the
You
real
wanna
world.
work and earn money for this summer, these are your hours.
And here's the question, if we suggest or we have our chair present to council that we want a cost increase, I would like her to be more prepared than just ask for a cost increase. What are we thinking
Right,
for that amount?
Well, what's the general?
$1 more?
yeah.
So what would be the total cost?
It's
much is it
$3,
now?
isn't it?
I know.
I thought it was $2, I was told it was $2,
Are
but maybe I'm
You're
wrong.
talking about the.
The pool
The pool
entrance.
I think that maybe we should, like, you know, since Perla has that written down, maybe she can kind of get the numbers of what, how much it costs for family swim, and then present it to us. And then we can, or email it to me and then I can send it to everybody
Okay,
of what
it
she
should be
found.
still on the website
Okay.
for the pool, cause it had the schedule and the costs and stuff. And so that should still be there.
So this, I can work on cost and then, so we can present this to Amy, with the open weekends, open holidays,
Yeah, and it has to be open before,
and
like
then,
Memorial Day weekend, so it's ready for June for the elementary kids.
and then what are the hours, right? I just want her to be really prepared when she goes to council, so they can make if we're wanting to make decisions and we want actions and like Sid says, I want this done, like I don't wanna sit here and make plans.
No, it's
Then I'm taking initiative right now to say,
Yep.
let's prepare Amy very well to go to council, so council can say, let's add it to the agenda or let's vote on it right now, here's your answer and action, we got something done,
Right.
right? So
And that's how you're, that's how the Parks and Rec and any other, like all of our commissions, that's how it's supposed to work. It comes out of your group, and then you take your president and chair, I'm sorry, got president on the head here. You take it to council or you take it to Public Works and have Raul support you when you go in to tell, this is what we have planned, this is what we'd like council to consider. But that's how all these commissions and planning groups are supposed to work.
okay,
When
And
does
so
the,
you're
okay with that?
absolutely
Yeah.
right.
when
No,
does the,
I think that's good, like, somebody needs to take, like, you're taking that initiative. I know Mike has already done, like, he's already looked into the soccer fields and all that, so maybe he can bring us back that information, so we can kind of at least get things going and moving.
And we have a lot of info too.
Yeah.
when does the pool usually close?
August 15th.
August.
I think like right after National Night Out, isn't it?
Yeah, so.
Oh, why don't we
After
keep it
that.
open till the end of
Because we don't have
August?
lifeguards.
Cause they go back
Oh,
to
yeah,
school.
back to school, yeah.
Well,
But,
Or summer
but
at
they
the high
don't,
school.
they don't actually, college doesn't start till September.
yeah, so why don't we
So
close
why
it
do we
at
give
the
it this-
end of
what do
August
we-
or
why-
Labor Day weekend?
That's what I'm thinking.
Why do we close it?
Because the generation coming here now is just like the ones that work in the medical field. If you don't call and you don't insist on getting what you want, they're not gonna do it because the economy is so high and jacked up, sorry, but if you don't hire me, it's okay, I can go someplace else. If you don't let me work what I wanna work, it's okay, I can go someplace else.
Well, then we get someone else, cause I mean, we have the
And
whole
that's-
girls swim team, we have the whole boys at the high school swim team. They're high school kids, they live here, they're gonna work.
Yeah.
So
I
what-
mean, but when
why
it
can't
costs
we-
$185 to get certified to be lifeguards,
Yeah,
you know, not all families can afford that $185.
Isn't that gonna come out of their first check or two? I mean,
And I know. a lot of
Maybe we
people
could table that, the August, end of August for next year, let's see how this goes this year. And then if we're in the plus and
Yeah.
everything's great, then we can talk about opening it
Yeah.
up till
And
end of August.
but I think also with those swimming lessons, if you don't have a minimum of 10 kids or whatever number makes it feasible, then guess what? We don't offer it.
Well, I think we
Why
should,
are we spending the money on
I
it?
think we should look at the August, and instead of waiting until next year, let's just do this and look at it, and it
Make
can
sure
be
we
done
get
this year.
Yeah, let's see the help we get
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
And then if for some reason we don't, then we can look at that as more of a
Yes.
drag next year, but
Yeah.
so the last weekend of August, the last Monday of August.
Labor Day.
I say Labor Day
Labor Day
weekend.
weekend will be the last day. That's when
After
everybody
the
is supposed to
Yeah,
go anyway.
that's what
Yeah.
it's hard for,
Yeah.
yeah, me too.
Find out which committees I'm supposed to be on.
No, I always
We're
go.
gonna have a pool, we'll have more of a resource of lifeguards.
We're gonna make it profitable.
Yeah, well, and then we'll get scheduled, like the start schedule and different things, and we can set hours.
This experience is gonna kick in.
Yeah, well, I know Mike had said in previous, he's like, well, if they don't wanna work, well,
Yeah, that's what I think.
All right,
However you
so,
want it.
so are we looking at maybe opening, you said a Memorial Weekend, so Memorial Weekend begins Friday, May 23rd.
Yeah.
That's kind of early.
Yeah, well, I mean, it
Like a
wouldn't be
kickoff?
open, I'm saying, you know, whoever does the work of opening it.
It'd be open probably just for the
Yeah,
school, for the
School
kids.
for the
'cause-
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, cause you have Outlook, you have what,
Washington.
Washington, Pioneer,
Mhm.
CK, and they all have to be scheduled.
By opening, I'm talking
Okay.
Public Works going
So-
in and
so-
prepping it and getting
Because they
it
usually-
ready and open.
Actually, you can ask Andrew when, Andrew,
Oh, I forget Andrew's there,
I know.
That's too funny.
Yeah,
hey, when did you guys open the pool last May?
let me take a look and I will get right back to you.
With a broken pump, I don't think
So
they
I'm
did.
on-
Oh, that's
Oh,
right,
yeah.
that's right, I forgot about
They
that.
opened
Yeah.
it and then they had to close it.
Yeah.
I'm on our website right now. It says season in 24 started June 21st, ends August 10th.
Dude, that was only what, like 4 weeks?
Yeah, that's only like 2 months,
Yeah.
Well,
maybe.
we had, we
Maybe
did
they
have,
didn't open it.
I think if we had a.
I don't believe they did open it right away. It was, the pump was broken when they started it, which pushed the opening back into June.
But normally, do you know normally when they do it, the year before?
Off the top of my head, I don't. I wasn't here the year before, so this was my first year with that opening this year.
Yeah.
Like Memorial Day weekend, it would be ready about the first week of June,
That would be
probably.
easy. Memorial weekend open, Labor Day weekend close.
After Labor Day weekend. closed.
After Labor
Well,
Day.
if it makes
So that would
somebody
be
wants people,
September
they can
2nd.
work them 36 hours, then you don't have to give them benefits.
Well, technically September first would be the last day, right?
Right,
Okay,
but it'd be closed on the 2nd.
yeah.
So
So then-
I don't know if you guys can confirm, but according to our website, we're open Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 4 then.
But she wasn't because of the kids didn't wanna work.
Oh, I see.
So we have,
Yeah.
we're
Let's say we
in charge.
shouldn't let
We're-
them- yeah, that's what I'm
we're-
saying, just let those kids dictate to us.
Yes, exactly right.
Seems like there should be some sort of an agreement that they signed, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Lifeguards to work Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why she closed
Oh,
it.
interesting.
Wow.
We think we
And then all of a sudden you get all this family coming.
Well, yeah, if it's on our
Well, it's
website and
closed.
then all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and then my other question, because I think you had said, or someone said about the meets. That, you know, maybe we could contact someone or give them the schedule so they can come in before the swim meets and just clean the bathrooms, empty the garbages and things.
Yeah, cause last year, I mean, we always try to put on a clean restroom, cause everybody talks through the ballot.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so we want our pool to shine.
Yeah.
And also with scheduling, maybe whoever's running the pool there they're taking in people or what. A lot of families during swim meets, a lot of families came because they thought it was open swim. And
Mhm.
they didn't realize it was a swim meet.
Yeah.
And maybe we need
Oh,
to
yeah.
get a schedule, so then we
Yeah.
can put it on the
Yeah,
website.
it needs to be due, because that's what I was gonna say, because
Yes.
there was
That's
a
a good
couple
idea.
times, me and Hannah went to go do family night or whatever. And it's 100+ degrees outside,
Yeah.
and you got people standing in line. And someone's going like, well, they're not gonna let us in, they're closed, and I'm going like, why are they closed? You know, the sign says that they're open, right? And so I went in there and I said, why are you closed? Oh, there's a swim meet. And I said, well, why don't you tell the people that
Mhm.
or have it posted? And then you go,
Well, that's
Well,
what
they don't
some
care, you know?
families say, well, we asked, but they look
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, or they didn't know, yeah.
Yeah.
But same
Well,
thing, if they have a schedule, make a
Yeah.
sign, laminate it and hang it
Yeah,
up.
hang
We're
it up,
closed
yeah.
these days.
and
Yeah.
then-
Also on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, closed these days.
And that's something on our website. We need to really up our game.
Yeah, so we just need to work with the swim team and make sure we get the correct dates and stuff so we can have that
Yeah.
posted.
Yeah.
Well,
Right,
that's
people
something
can be
we should
aware.
be putting
Yeah.
out to the public on our Facebook
Uh-huh.
page. Hey, just a reminder, there's a swim meet. So that gets out there. I mean,
Yeah.
that's something we could do
Yeah.
better this
And
year.
if we can open up Memorial Weekend and end Labor Day weekend, that gives us 14 weeks of being open.
Mike, I'm just gonna warn you that this job that you're handing to Raul is a big job. When talking about hiring people that are lifeguards and making sure they have the training and the certificates and
is that something? And I
You're
didn't
gonna
really
have to
discuss
run
the
through,
sharks, I mean,
through the,
they're the swim experts, could we? I mean,
the other
I'm
thing is you
thinking
gotta
could the
run
swim
all
team-
this, all these applications through HR.
Yeah,
Because they're, all of the
That's
vets
the
are gonna
other
be,
problem,
yeah, that has,
And this,
cause
cause
they
they
have,
become part of our seasonal staff.
yeah,
But
seasonal
I
staff
mean,
and
they'll bring their,
vetted and all that
they'll
stuff.
bring their app in, just like you would,
Right,
if you
yeah.
had part-time summer help for parks.
And
So
who-
they come in, they do the screening, and then maybe we can get,
Can I just ask another question? Who says it has to be college kids or high school kids that are lifeguards? Could it be retired people who
It
love
could
to
be.
swim?
I asked that last year, I have,
I mean,
our friend Gordon,
Councilwoman Hart.
Is that how-
I don't.
They have to be able to
I
run down the
barely can do
pool
that.
and get in and save the
I
person.
would love to.
as
I
long
would
as they're
love to.
certified, well, I don't understand why they. can't
Yeah, I
do
mean,
that.
there should be no age limits. I mean, if you're
I
capable
don't
of
think
swimming.
there is, but that's just been what it is, I mean,
it's like kind of like the kids' first jobs.
yeah.
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 My oldest daughter was lucky enough to have that job, or that for her first job, and I'm going like, that flipping sucks. I mean, I had to work hard for my first job.
I'm seeing the
Spend the
start,
day at the
I'm seeing
pool.
the start of a movie here, Sherry.
Yeah.
Senior center members to be lifeguards, just, it's a new pool in 25. Get your butts in line.
It wouldn't like-
Maybe,
Probably would work.
There's no running.
maybe the board can oversee like the pool stuff, you know, like
Or
make sure-
helping.
helping, like
Yeah,
making sure like, hey, we know this, you know, talk to Raul or Andrew and be like, did you guys make sure it's clean and stuff
Yeah.
like that?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I have to end the meeting there on the live stream to start council.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sorry.
And no, I think
Fine by us.
we'll be wrapping up relatively soon.
But I mean, that might be